All right, do it yourself here. So I have something I want to work on today, which is going to be an important thing that every guy needs to know how to do, unless you're a millionaire, billionaire. And even if you don't have a car, you still got to have the skill now to do this, so that when you get a car, you can easily do it for yourself, and car for your spouse or kids or what have you. It's oil change, the standard oil change. I'm going to show you guys all the steps you need to follow to do it yourself as safely as possible, because safety is very important. So let's get it started. You're gonna save yourself a lot of money. Change your oil, several hundreds of dollars, and I even know of some oil change centers where they don't even change your oil if you usually ask if you're gonna keep it for 3,000 miles or whatever. I mean, oil is supposed to go more than that. 5,000. There's some oil that can even go 10,000 miles or more on a standard or on just one oil change. Some synthetic oils can fully synthetic oils can go for a whole year without you changing the oil. You wanna try to do this yourself. You don't wanna get scammed by these centers and them not changing your oil when you come in, and you run it again, paying them all that money, and then they don't change your oil, and for a couple times you go there. So do this yourself to save yourself some money and maintain your car well. So the first thing you gotta do when you're doing your oil change, make sure your car is turned off. So first thing, make sure your car is turned off. Your car is in park. Turn off the car and take out the key. It's important to do that because you don't want to mistakenly turn on your car when there's no oil in the engine, or if someone is coming in and just mistakenly turning on the car while you're working on the car. So it's very important to turn it off and take out the key, just for safety, just for precautionary reasons. That's all. Also, to make sure the car doesn't move while you're walking under the car, you want to push your foot brake all the way down. If you have a hand brake on the side, pull that up as well. Okay? Something extra that I also do is that I put a wedge. If you don't have a good wedge, put a rock or 2x4, whatever, behind one of the tires to make sure it's an extra support, make sure the car doesn't move. Now, I remember one time I was changing the wheel on one of my cars, and it was on a driver like this, slight slope. Raised the car up, took out one of the tires, and the car moved back just a little bit, and the whole thing fell down. Lucky enough, I wasn't under the car. It was a very slow drop, so the wheel didn't get damaged, and it took me a while to figure out a way to get a spare jack to raise the car up again. So you gotta be careful. It's for safety reasons. Put something behind, extra precaution, because even the parking is not enough. Because even when you park a car, it could still tilt back a little bit, to lock. So sometimes it may not be locked and could tilt back a little bit to lock. So be careful. Take all precautions. Put something behind. Use your foot brake as well to help prevent the car from moving. So for some cars, you can actually do the oil change without actually jacking up the car. I've done oil change on some cars without jacking it up because it was so easy to access. But for this car, I'm gonna have to. So if your car needs it, you're gonna have to jack up the car to do your oil change. For most cars, you have to. All right, and the last step for precaution is to use a jack stand, a standard jack stand. Try to get one for at least, I don't know what is 2,000 pounds or something. They're safe. They'll help you just in case the car tilts and this snaps up or breaks. Instead of the car falling on you while you're under the car, this is going to hold the car up. So it's a extra precaution. You can never have too much precaution, but this goes a long way to help. So like I said the other time, I was changing the car and it fell off. This thing fell off. This would have held up the car if it was there. So it's good to have that in place. It's only cost about 20 or 30 bucks. Any of the major retailers, you can find them in there. I'm not gonna name any of the retailers because they're not paying me to put this on there, but you can figure out where I got this from. So that's very important and useful. All right, so now comes the fun part. To change the oil, you're gonna need a torque wrench like this, and you're gonna need some some sockets. Most cars, cars have different sizes of the drain plug sizes. So you're just gonna have to figure out what the drain plug size for your car is gonna be, and once you put it in there, I'm gonna show you. You're gonna figure out the size and check which one fits in, and then use it to remove the drain plug. So you fit it in here, and you put it to the drain plug, and untighten it and get it out. That's where the oil is going to drip out from. I'll show you, pretty soon. But that's what you're going to have to do. So I'm not going to tell you what the size is. You're just going to have to figure out the size by checking it on there, because different cars have different sizes. And these are basically the only investments you're going to have to make. You can buy a simple toolbox like this, $20-$30. Buy a jack stand like that for another $20-$30, and you're also gonna need to buy a filter screw remover to remove the filter. Sometimes you might be able to get it off with your hand, but sometimes it might be too tight, so oftentimes you need a filter remover to remove the filter from the car. Okay, so for the 2004 Chevy Impala, what you're gonna need is a 14mm socket to remove the drain plug. That's what size fits for this Chevy Impala. Okay, so to access the drain pan is usually close to the center of the car and just right underneath here. So if we go under the car like this, you're gonna find a pan like this. Sometimes it could be a smooth pan that looks like this, and you're gonna find a plug. Let me hold this right there at the tip, pointing that way. Okay, this plug is what you have to unscrew, untighten for the oil to flow out. Okay, and you basically take your wrench, place it on there. Okay, and you untighten. Sometimes it might be tight. You might have to use some little elbow grease or whatever, but usually that's why when you tighten it, you don't want to tighten it and make it too tight, but make sure it's tight enough so it doesn't leak. You don't want your oil to be leaking out, but you untighten it and get the oil out. But before that, you want to make sure you get a flat pan to catch the oil. You don't want the oil dripping all over the place. And usually most stores, auto stores, they can take your used oil and they can dispose of the used oil for you. They don't have to dispose of the oil yourself. Take it to AutoZone, Advanced Auto Part, whatever. They're gonna take the oil and dispose of it safely. So don't pollute the environment. So once you unscrew that, the oil drops in there, and then you can put it in a can and take it to them for disposal. The next part for this is the oil filter. Now, so I can't tell you where the oil filter is on most cars, but if you look close to the where the oil pan is, look around it, sometimes close to the tires, you're gonna find the oil filter. For this 2004 Impala, the oil filter is right here. You can see it there. Okay, you can see it right there. And sometimes you may be able to use your hand to get it out. At other times, you're gonna need the oil filter wrench to unscrew it from there and get it out. And when you're taking out the oil filter, you're gonna need to have a pan underneath there to catch the oil, because there's gonna be some oil in the oil filter that's gonna drip out. So you don't want to spill all over the floor and pollute the place. So put an oil pan under there to remove the oil filter after you've taken out the oil from the drain plug, the pan underneath. Okay, so that's the next thing you're gonna have to do. So when you've taken out the oil filter, you're gonna put in your new oil filter. You're gonna put the plug back in there. And make sure you put the plug back in there before you put your oil, your new oil. Okay, it's very important. You don't want to dump your new oil before you close the drain plug and the oil is just gonna flow out. Okay, so make sure you put in the oil plug, your new oil filter, and then you open that up and put your fresh oil into the engine, and that should do your oil change. Straight and simple, not too complex. If you have any difficulties at any point in time, go ahead and take it to the mechanic, have him do it for you. Okay, do the best you can, but if you have problems, take it to the experts. I hope this helps. Do it yourselfer. Have a good one.